Hey gamers, how's it going? Let's head to Ukaizo, cause that's where we're going. It's an Ukaizo kind of day, you know? You know what I mean? You ever wake up and just say, it's an Ukaizo kind of day? Well, it's one of those. So let's fucking... Uh-oh. Yeah. Clouds darken in the distance, piling one atop the next, as if in a battle for superiority. A visioned, searing thread of lightning forks between sea and sky, followed almost immediately by a rib-rattling crash of thunder. Beodal frowns at the growing storm. This is no squall, Captain. It's a tempest. Don't let the waves hit the ship from the side, and close the hatches. We can try to ride it out if we must. Your orders. Sign the crew duties. Handsome Eliam, take this line and lash yourself to the wheel. I don't want you going overboard. With a grimace, Handsome Eliam accepts the rope and begins looping it through the spokes of the wheel in his own belt. Hand out the last of the cooked food, Hayam. Put out any fires in the galley. Understood, Captain. The crew will be glad to have a warm meal before we dive into this mess. Morale gained. Assign deckhand duties. Reef the sails. Everyone into the rigging. We need to reef the sails. The crew ascend into the rigging, pulling lines and tying off the sails, diminishing the amount of fabric facing the wind before returning to the deck. That's enough for now. We're as prepared as we're gonna get. Take us in. The clouds sweep over you, dominating the sky, hemming the sea beneath. Roiling gray dome. The rain drums against the deck. Sweat beads on Handsome Eliam's brow as the storm looms ever closer. Can't outrun this one, Captain! The ship rocks intermittently and unpredictably, and soon the crew clutch their heads and guts. Bent over, buckets squeezed tight between their knees. The befouled grog scent of their sick thickens the air. Psychically reduce their nausea. Your mind reaches for the thoughts of the crew, turning them from the ship's sway. They blink as the sickness lifts from them like an unpleasant dream. The storm rages on, showing no signs of subsiding. One day passes. The ship pitches suddenly, and the monstrous wave strikes directly across the deck. With a despairing scream, Chidupek sweeps over the rail. Arms writhing tentacles. Eothas chants, a sickly, salty scent fills the air. Oh, there was a chance of that failing. Oh. A long, writhing tentacle rises from the riotous depths and deposits the lost sailor, who promptly vomits, back onto the tilting deck. The storm rages on, showing no signs of subsiding. The wind calms, but the rain pours from the sky as if the boat with the cool name has come to rest beneath the waterfall. Rainwater sloshes across the decks and under the rails. Um... All hands to their posts. We're holding course. Hats and cloaks turned against the rain. The crew guide the boat with a cool name through the unending downpour. We're all lost. As if exhausted, the clouds finally calm, coming to rest like a thick blanket across the sky. The waves too, and their trembling complaint, and the boat with a cool name finally sails easy. The crew lean against the rails and rigging, their faces haggard but relieved. The storm, it seems, has passed. Hell yeah! Gaining ranks. I don't know what that accomplishes, but it's cool. That's right, you stay away. Oh, I'm surprised you're still part of my party. I already have a wizard. I don't need another wizard. But he's also redundant. If I... Do you level up? Okay, it looks like your experience is way over leveling. Oh, this is such a fucking far trip. This is such a far fucking trip. Jesus Christ. There's plenty of ocean to sail and many lands to explore, but what lies ahead of you dwarfs them all. Should you choose to sail on, you suspect there will be no return, not to the Deadfire you have come to know. Continue forward. Set course through the channel and into uncharted turbulent seas. Andra's mortar rages on the horizon, a vast wall of roiling clouds and rain. Punctuated by silver flicker of lightning, the wind pushes against you, as if toward whatever lies beyond from a boat with cool names approach. The boat with a cool name leads the fleet, crashing through the turbulent waters like an axe through armor. God's alive, Beidol mutters, staring at the storm. Hager? Hager. Kergr blinks at the blackening sky. Knew an old salt once who claimed the mortals were the edge of the world. I called him a fool. Now, though? The navigator's head shakes sadly. Now I ain't so certain. Head bowed slightly. Grim Cauldron smiles. Today is as good a day as any to learn what the gods have in store for us. Shit, Captain! One of the hands cries, "Hostile vessels inbound to forward port!" With a shake of his head, Beedle emits a grim chuckle. "Suppose it'd be too much to ask to be left alone here." The inverted crown flies atop the masts. The inverted crown flies atop the masts of the motley Principe ships, along with a dozen other pennants and colors representing a dozen different pirate lords and ladies. Their shanties are audible, even against the storm. The approaching fleet number at least as many ships as your own, maybe more. Beedle frowns against the wind. "The fleet's turning, Captain, setting their gun ports against the enemy." Waving her hat overhead, Tuliak Longfrost whoops eagerly. "Finally, some goddamn excitement!" The hands look to you from their stations. Beedle's eyes hold yours. "Crew stands ready. What are the captain's orders?" Inspect the fleet. Prince Aruhi's personal ships lead the vanguard of the Juana fleet, flanked by a dozen voyagers, backed by another half-dozen ships of varied make. Tribal banners dance above the vessels. Each pontoon bears the painted designs unique to the crew. Archers and sharpshooters stand at the rails, and robed water shapers crown each ship's bow, their ritualized movements smoothing the sea before the fleet. The persistent heartbeat of drums rise from the voyagers, and 100 voices chant your name. "Absentia! Absentia! Absentia!" Wahaki war canoes churn the water among the voyagers, each craft crowded with face-painted warriors singing against the storm. Study the enemy. Patchwork pirate fleet charges aggressively towards you. Its ships a ragtag menagerie of flashy galleons and sleek dhows, stolen junks and mercenary sloops. You count 30 vessels, give or take. "All hands to battle stations. We're joining the fray." The deck vibrates as cannon fire erupts from enemy and ally alike, filling the air with hot, hissing metal and banks of thick gray smoke. Beedle grasps your arm and thrusts a finger out toward the sea. "They're coming at us full sail with the wind at their back." A lumbering dhow, decked with a medley of colorful flags and bristling with cannons, bears down on you with high speed. The battle-scarred Principe ship crew shout across the gap, waving cutlasses and spitting ale over the railing. At the helm, the distant wink of a gold tooth reflects either the captain's triumphant smile or savage grimace. You can't tell which is worse. Bring us about. All hands prepare for combat. Let's board these fuckers. Take their fucking ship. Oh yeah, you're a chanter too. I forgot you were a druid chanter. Okay, you need stuff. Can't be changed in... Fuck. Well, would probably be able to help us. Get it? Get it? Get it? It's jokes. Barathian priest? These shouldn't be able to work magic. I'm Barathi's herald. Bareth's, not Barathi. My sign.
Sorry, friend. Can't.
Pow, 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 pow.
Wait, hit me again and I'll hit you back.
Jesus. Jody, what the fuck happened to you? Jody, heal. Heal, my darling.
I don't think I can pull that off.
Shit. Neat. Take home. Continue. Right. The rumble of cannons provides a steady percussive accompaniment to the choral screams of the dying. The deck pitches and rolls with the twisting of the sea. The smoke drifts lazily across the choppy waves. Onward mortar churns to the east, shifting clouds and shimmering curtains of rain, hypnotic. Who fixes on me a frown? Ain't over yet, Captain. The mate gestures out across the water. A pair of colossal galleons flank Prince Aruhi's Voyager. As the mercenary ships close on your ally, they pound the smaller vessel with repeated rounds of cannon fire. Ogre corsairs wave heavy clubs from the galleon's decks, impatient to board the Juana craft. Aruhi's ship is about to be overwhelmed. Your orders, Captain. Kehu swallows and turns on you. Bring us about. Have the cannons ready. We're taking on those galleons. With grim nods, your mates snap to their tasks. Spins the wheel and calls the cannoneers. The boat with a cool name turns, barreling toward the ogre crewed galleons with the hope of offering your allies a reprieve. Tuliak Longfrost points to a dark spot on the distant horizon. Captain, a vessel approaches. You squint to the horizon and see unfamiliar colors snapping in the breeze. As the ship draws near, its crew throws open the gun ports. Close to board. Second thought. Advance. The scourge of Abet springs into action, scrambling across the deck. Some scurry up the mast to furl and unfurl sails, while others pull at long coils of sea-slick rope. You hear shouts of the enemy boatswain over the sound of water, ordering the crew to their stations. Sailors climb the rigging like spiders and set loose the sails. Full speed ahead. Tuliak, Longfrost, and Grim Cauldron clamber up the main mast and unfurl the remaining sails. The sails billow out and catch the wind in full. The boat with a cool name leaps forward. Enemy crew scurry to their stations and prepare for maneuvers. Opponent sails hang empty. The ship comes to a stop. The wind has died. Choose a course of action. Oh, I forget what my cannons are. Full speed ahead. The wind at your back growls, howling in your ears. Your ship crashes through the waves as wind drives it forward. Enemies scurry to their stations. The opposing ship lets out its sails and moves with the full force of the wind at its back. Wait, who has the wind at their back? Is it me or them? Speed ahead. This is exciting, isn't it? Just two boats ramming each other. Two boats headed towards each other. Thrilling. The boat with a cool name beats the windward, tacking between port and starboard with all appropriate speed. Your ship is faster and your crew better prepared. Secure the wind gauge before the scourge of Abet's crew has the opportunity to come about and claim it for themselves. Full speed ahead! Harger and Grim Culverin clamber up the mainmast and unfurl the remaining sails. How many remaining sails are there? This is enclosed by more. Oh, they're turning. Takes me 2 turns to turn? Fuck me. Full speed ahead. Fuck it. Your opponent's ship comes about with all possible haste, though the opposing crew is fleet of foot. Turning a vessel of the Scourge of Abet's size takes time. Beetle relays your order and the ship picks up speed, slicing through the waves. Crews scurry to their stations. Scourge of Abet misjudged the wind's direction. As the crew executes their maneuver, the ship's sails abruptly flutter loose on their masts. The ship comes to a stop. Some quick maneuvering the boat with... Yeah, we go first. Ramming speed. Crew chews through the water, barreling down on the back of the... barreling down the back of waves and surging up the face. Sea spray drenches the main deck. With a deafening crunch, the boat with the cool name and the Scourge of Abet collide, sending shards of wood and enemy sailors flying. Okay, they took twice as much damage as we did. That's good, I guess. With a rousing cry, your crew throw grappling hooks and boarding planks across the gap between the two ships. They stream onto the ship's deck, weapons at the ready. The stunned enemy crew rally to meet your sailors with a resounding boom of gunfire and clang of steel on steel. Yeah! Ship combat. Jesus. Good lord, dude. Fuck! Well, I guess that's what happens when a fucking level 11 goes against level fucking... What are they? What are you? What's your level? Tell me your numbers. I guess we'll never know. I think they were like level 15? Ogre?
Flies!
Rip through, my dude. Shody's got some kind of... She got some kind of revive, right? Where is it? Resurrection. Handsome Helium, what are you doing?
That's it!
Handsome Helium, are you magic as fuck? Why am I not using you as a party member? Wow. Got fuck all there. On continue. The rising winds do nothing to clear the obscuring smoke, the obscuring haze of choking smoke. Popping gunfire punctuates the timpani roll of cannons. And shouts of desperate sailors vie with the screams of the dying. Enemy and ally alike disappear into the morass, which glows from within, illuminated by burning wrecks. A ship looms out of the darkness to port, and its crew call warnings in their desperate attempts to avoid collision. They fail, and the boat with a cool name heaves as the enemy vessel slides along its broadside. Another craft directly ahead. With no room to maneuver, the boat with a cool name grinds against it. Sandwiched between two enemy ships, you're trapped. Absentia, we're being boarded! Eothas cries. Pouring out of the haze, pirates swing from the rigging and leap from the decks, screaming their loathing for you. Eothas, I appreciate it, but I kind of guessed. I kind of guessed we were being boarded. Wait, aren't we supposed to be sandwiched? What's this? A much better situation than being sandwiched? Why, thank you. Also, let's level up this guy before the fight technically starts. Because apparently, I'm being allowed to do that. History. Get druid stuff. Get cool druid stuff. Like lightning claws or something. Fire claws? Ice claws. Oh, choose an ability. Or the storm, spell shaping. Conjure blight. Yeah. Okay, so I do fully get to level him up. That's very good. Well, let's go with that. And let's go with that. Unless this is something good. You're a druid, not a healer. That's good though, because you're gonna be kind of a tank for me. And everyone learns how to use an axe. On my crew, everyone needs to know how to use axes. Because axes are the coolest weapon. Thorns? Huntless Storm. You know what? We just went through a storm. Let's say you learned how storm magic works. Cleansing wind, healing allies, and pushing back enemies. Sure, bud. God, this boy is so shiny. Look at how shiny he is. Yeah, let's learn how to charm. You're very shiny, so you're very charming. Choose an ability for one class. 2 points for druid. Spreading plague. Ooh, sexy. Are you excited? Is this exciting content? 100 Greater Blight. Sure. Just conjure every kind of blight. Oh, sweet. Corpse healing. I love that kind of shit. What's this? Fills himself with energy? Freeze and crush with high penetration, hey? Tell me more, tell me more. Let's just, rather than doing specific spells, let's reduce the time for all spells. Okay. What? You just died, so learn the revive spell. Okay, and we're still in the time before the fight. So let's get you armor. Look at that, it's armor. Perhaps you've heard of it. Let's get you some accessories. You can't wear a hat because you're too cool for it. Till I come up with something better for you. Sure, we can go with that. Kind of being a tank, so that's better. You get to be a yucky boy. It's life through death, huh? Use your channels, observing the defenses of all in the area. Okay. Kinda hot. Oh! It's an accessory. That's not a... I thought that was, a neck piece. Okay, still gotta get you some booties. Grants power surge. Do I have any other boots that could be? Grants Beast of Winter. You know what? That's cool. I like that for you. Have more health, since you just died and all. Go with that. And let's get you some weapons. You've already got your Water Shaper's Focus Rod. That's very cool. But, do we have something better for you? Well, first you do need a melee weapon. Like, that's just a non-negotiable. Okay, sort by type. No. I can sort by value and enchant value. I guess that's something. Thrilling content. What's this? Frostfall. That's cool. That's probably... maybe? Yeah, that's part of... plus by the void. That's super definitely totally... what's their fucks? What the fuck is that? Yeah, sure. It's Chaos Strike. Applying a random affliction to themselves and the target? No. That, however, sure. Dispersed suffering. Encroaching frost. Shattering head. Sure. Cool, this thing's as good as it's ever going to be. And... damn, your defenses are very good. Your defenses are very good. You're tanky as shit, dude. If I were to, say, give you this turtle shield. Hell yeah. Stable bronze core. Let's defend against acid. That seems more likely to happen. Okay. So you're all kitted out now. Congratulations. Now you won't be useless in this fight. Are there already people dead? Oh. I have allies in this fight. Sure would love it if I didn't have these fucking things in the way, blocking my vision. In a way that my vision shouldn't be blocked.
That was about as useful as a bump on a pickle.
I love that this guy's a shark boy. I love that for him. And Chippy Wizard. Pop! That was, like, trivially easy. But with the cool name limps away from the broken wrecks, gathered behind and breaks free from the bank of smoke. In the distance, Andre's mortar's rage, nothing between you and your goal. To aft, the Principe San Petrina lie broken and scattered and broken. The remaining pirate vessels fleeing west towards Magran's Teeth and Dunge beyond. Ragged cheers rise from your allies and compatriots. Cheers collapse into cries of horror as the surface of the water explodes upwards, tearing a nearby ship in half and throwing sailors screaming into the sea. A creature rises from the wreckage, a monstrosity, slick odra and gleaming metal. Someone places a hand on your shoulder. We've had the god's own luck getting this far. The boat with a cool name don't stand a chance against whatever that is. Our only hope is the storm. Captain, I say we must drive it away from our allies, even if that means... Takehu trails off and turns towards the railing of the advancing creature. He raises a shaking hand to his mouth. Gotta try and help, whatever the cost. The surface of the water bulges, then bursts like the crash of the surf. A dragon explodes from the water. Oh shit! The familiar skilled form of sweeps low, wings outstretched just above the white-tipped waves, before spraying its briny breath over the metallic monster. The monstrosity turns on the sea dragon, and they slam into one another. Fuck yeah! Tearing at each other with tooth and fang, essence pours off the pair as they pound one another with their abilities at point blank. Go, now, while I hold the attention of these beings. Skippy's voice echoes through among your thoughts. Our debts are cleared, Watcher. Someone turns from the carnage. Captain, we might not get another chance. All hands look to you. We've come this far. There's no turning back now. Someone nods. Sometimes the only way back is forward. The mate calls across the deck. Cessations. Time to show the gods what the boat with a cool name be made of. Stupidest boat in the world. Onwards more looms before you and above you, dominating the whole of the world. Rain begins to fall. The storms of Ondra's mortar encompass the visible horizon. Hurricane winds roar like an imprisoned beast, blowing with enough force to warp the very seas. Past the curtain of rain and above the swell of waves, you can barely perceive the outline of colossal Adra pillars. Deep in concentration, the water shapers at the prow of your ship mirror a complex series of stances. Prayers to Nagati begin as whispers and rise. Prayers to Nagati begin as whispers and rise into songs bellowed at a unified voice, matching the intensity of the storm. The sea responds with hesitation, sending up the occasional splash of water in protest. You begin to wonder if your allies are equipped to stand against the relentless fury of Ondra's mortar. And then the very storm yields to their will. Wave after wave rises and swells into an assumed shape. First a wall, then an arch, forming a perfect curve that projects deeper into the storm. One of the water shapers sends up a call. The others make a finishing gesture in a single fluid motion, clapping their hands and extending their palms, solidifying their work. The tunnel remains intact. Your allies send up a congratulatory cheer as your ship crosses under the canopy of the sea. Sick! The tunnel remains intact. Your allies send up... They fall silent as the distant shape stands out on the horizon, and you pause to appreciate it in turn. A sight that no mortal has glimpsed in 1,000 years. Lost Ukaizo. Ornate spires reach up from the island, hinting at the city within. Not all of Ukaizo has weathered the millennia with equal grace. Other structures jut and lean out of the surrounding shallows. making the waters around the island impassable by ship. You resolve to take a skiff the rest of the way. Neat. I wonder if something else would have happened if I had had Seraphine as my companion. Oh no, I failed quests. Ooh, someone's cooking something. It smells good. Some cheers. Reach level 20. Big Dragon. I learned the spell Big Dragon. Shit, Shody. You've already got almost everything. Sure. I've never used Empower once, but... Sure, metaphysics. Sure, Flame Shield sounds sick. We met Lendrath, so that makes sense. I got pretty much everything. Shit, I don't know. Yeah, well, allies to safety. Oh, rest and wait. Everyone gets shark meat. Shark meat for everyone. Cause holy shit. I'm not going into this place with fucking injuries. Pile of debris hums with ancient power. Oh no.
Looks like.
We're already fighting giant robots. Why'd you run closer?
Me and you are about to mix.
That's it.
I don't know what you were doing, but I don't like it. Cool. Holy hell! Hey, what do we have that can be upgraded? Enchant? What level is this? This needs to be better. Fuck. I'd want that one anyway. Okay. Eothas, you're still wearing your original shit. Damn, dude. Good for you. It's not even fine. Christ, Eothas. How have you even been surviving? Oh right, you're a wizard. You're in the back. You use scepter. And quarterstaff. Let's just see what we can do with that. Launches a raw damage AoE on scoring 5 consecutive hits on the target. What? That's cool. Though damage reduction when hit is also pretty cool. No. That's sexy. this big sexy. Yeah, that's very good. Like the rest of Reinhardt's equipment. Superb already. That'd be cool, but gains hatred? Wait. Does that also apply to self, though? I don't trust that. That scares me. Wait. Make it superb? I will make it superb. On target on scoring. Okay. What? Let's just... No chances for anything, just good old-fashioned damage. Faint echo of soul energy blinks up at you from the depths of wreckage. Interesting. This place is very big. Okay, I guess we're going to the Grand Promenade. I don't really have a choice, game. There are gonna be more giant robots here?
It's even scarier than in my dreams.
Disable the storm, huh? That's an objective? Neat. Let's go for history, because we're in a place that is history. Skeleton warriors! Always be skeletons. If you can be skeletons. Always be skeletons if you can be skeletons. Oh, Lashing Vine. Oh, that one was really good. That's a really good spell. Everyone gets free healing potions. Yes, please. Erosion has softened the bronze features, giving the proud statue a brooding air. So current objective is disable the storm. Sending into the city would be suicide if a storm rages on. Okay. Then I guess I go forward. Furious storm obscures the sprawling city below, but you can make out the shape of distant spires reaching from the flooded ruins. Spirit winds tug at your soul with insistence, like a stern hand trying to pull a cloak from your back. You recall the last time you encountered a bivouac. It feels like a lifetime ago. Turn to your companions. So, here we are. You look at your companions you look at those who accompanied you this far. You risk everything to face the confrontation ahead. Something on your mind, Shodi?
You gonna do this or what?
Shodi licks her chapped lips. Dark gaze narrowing as she takes in the sight of the ancient city's ruins. Raised high, her lantern casts hard shadows over the planes of her face.
We've made it this far, yet we're still alive. Might as well square off with my god before our luck runs dry.
No matter what happens with Eothas, you've got my back, right? She doesn't answer for so long you think she's not going to. Then she taps her bloodstained sickle against her thigh.
Sure do. If Gon wants you dead, I figure he can do it himself. Besides, the part of him that's been stomping through the Deadfire didn't much help me at Mogren's teeth.
I mean, saved us off from the lava. She ruffles a shaky hand through her hair.
Tell me, Watcher, can there be a god of light and birth if souls themselves can no longer be reborn?
It's a good fucking question. She points her lantern toward the shadow ruin in the distance, Ukaizo's broken bones. Think we can reason with him?
It didn't work so good at Mogren's teeth, now. But sure, we can try to sway my god's will again. Well, if anyone could do it, I reckon it'd be you. I thought it'd be different how it turned out, but I couldn't dream of any other way.
Shodi sets her jaw ground.
Now then, shall we go face my god for one last time? Find out what it is we can or can't do in these end times. Whether we're meant to wither or thrive.
Yep, let's go.
Consider me your second shadow.
Shodi thumbs the copper cage of her lantern, a subconscious attempt to reassure herself. How you feeling about all this, Adir? Adir's gaze wanders among the glinting archways and half-collapsed spires, his mouth agape.
Gilded Vale got its name from the way the wheat fields used to look in the sun. But this place really is gilded. Might as well be a different world.
Miss the simple life?
Well, hard to miss what you can barely remember. All I know is my life took a turn when this world came stomping into mine. These great people got a funny way of passing on. They disappear from the world, but leave their problems behind for the rest of us to deal with.
That's why we're here. We're going to face this. Whatever comes, we're going to see people through.
I guess maybe that's one good thing that's come out of this. At least for me. I got something to do with my life that doesn't involve hauling or shoveling.
Just a lot of killing people.
Even got a friend or two out of it.
He smirks.
Whole world's about to face the biggest test it ever saw. What Eothas is doing, it's gonna change everything. We may not survive. Kith, I mean. You know, I broke a wheel once too. First thing I thought of when we learned what Eothas was doing. My mom had this spinning wheel, and she loved it.
Adir bites his lower lip, his guilt still evident.
Well, I was playing with it in the way a young child might when his parents are out, and that wheel came right off. It wouldn't go back into place, so I pushed it harder, and pretty soon I'd broken off a spoke. Broke off 3 more trying to fix that. Anyway,
How, man?
I got whipped pretty good for it. That wheel was never the same, even after my dad fixed it.
Adir runs a pair of fingers back and forth across the beard in need of a trim.
I used to think of the gods as being like parents to all of us. And now I know better. They're children, playing while their folks are gone.
Oh, snap. Adir looks to Eothas in the distance and sighs. You're looking thoughtful, Eoth. Eoth looks out at the sprawling ancient city.
5 years ago, you controlled the destiny of thousands of souls in Sun and Shadow.
He pauses, considering the vista.
But the choice you make today shall define the fate of every living thing in Eora.
He turns to you. Curiosity shines in his eyes, but there's something else there. Pity. I have a responsibility to do right by the world. I'll make the best decision I can.
I know you will.
He smiles.
I know you'll choose wisely. And no matter what happens, it's been an honor journeying with you. Again.
He puts his hand on your shoulders, meeting your gaze with a fond smile. He turns back to regard the great city before you. Here we are, Takehu. How's it feel?
I am thinking that Eothas has come this far, and he will not wait on you before he finishes what he started.
Takehu regards you with a raised brow and a cautious smile.
If he shatters what is sat in the heart of Ukaizo, this action will ripple beyond the Deadfire, beyond life as we know it. The Hawana could use a change, an upset, something that gets them working together. History has shown that we thrive in adversity.
He turns to face his surroundings, struggling to take in everything at once.
The land of my mothers, as real as anything that rises up from the bed of the sea. Also, smaller than I expected.
He lets out an exhausted laugh.
This should be as interesting as the last time I confronted a god-possessed Adra Colossus.
Shrugging, Takehu gestures ahead. You get around, but I know you haven't done this before.
Captain, I am my mother's son. I have seen things you would not believe.
He folds his arms and winks.
What say? Shall we find him, Captain?
Takehu nods, his brow furrowed. Takehu gestures to the path ahead, his lips twitching in a hesitant smile. I think we're as ready as we can be. Let's go! Tiny engraving reads, in memory of Duma, Tapua, and Tokima, Nagati's first chosen. This way's busted. So I guess let's go this way. Do. Guess we're going on for Spire. Oh, I paid the daily wages. Well, that's good. Can't have my crew going hungry. Well, that's sure fucking something. The fuck? Fuck. Through the device atop the tower spins in wild, blurring revolutions. The air around it is still and calm. You stand at the eye of the storm, which has cordoned off Andra's mortar from the rest of Eora for thousands of years. You see an antiquated control panel, its levers engaged in positions of activation. A deep percussion shakes the tower by its roots, somewhere in the obscurity of the storm. Eothas rears back his fist to deliver a mighty blow. The control panel has weathered the millennia better than the rest of the city. A layer of dust covers its elegant glass tubes and engraved copper levers, which appear both intact and fully functional. Deactivate the machine! Grip the largest levers and bring it to its starting position. The vibration of machinery gradually slows and the turbulent winds grow calm.
The machine controlling the storm winds down. The clattering of its machinery settles into a low whir and then, at last, hiccups to a halt. Beyond the tower, the black, roiling clouds of Andra's mortar roll away from the ancient city of Ukaizo, with only a tired sigh of wind to see them off. And on that last breath of wind, comes to you a familiar sound. The ring of a bell.
What do you fuckers want?
The bell's ringing is soft. Not the clangor and torrent you've grown used to. It calls to your soul, and your soul yearns to follow it. Your soul flees from your body and into the beyond, chasing that sound. It leads you at last to Bareth's realm. To that cold platform and room of endless doors.
Okay.
Watcher, your journey nears its conclusion.
Uh-huh.
The pallid night stands before you, her gaunt face impassive.
What will come after this?
That will depend on the will of Kith, whose desires are ever in flux. Soon you will confront Eothas for what will likely be the final time, and you will do so as the Herald of Bareth, the only creature on the face of Eora to whom he will listen. Remember that.
Cool.
The pallid night inclines
No
her head
pressure.
to you, black hair hanging lank in her face. She steps back and cedes the floor to Helia with a small, resigned sigh.
Helia's the bird one, right? Yeah.
If Eothas truly intends to go
Helia,
through with
I
his
like
mad
you.
plan to destroy the wheel, a generation's worth of souls will be trapped in the in-between. So many would suffer. How can Eothas be so cruel? He cannot just abandon them. Eothas must help the Kith find a quick solution.
Abaddon strides forward.
Eothas thrust this crisis on the Kith. They did not bring it upon themselves. Their only mistake was in trusting us to watch over them. Who will help them rebuild their world now?
Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad you're not dead. Because I'm pretty sure you were like almost dead or something.
Eothas will reveal every secret of the gods. Will Kith be able to change the established order if they have no wonder to inspire them?
Yes?
Eothas must help them resolve this quickly, lest every one of Eora's few remaining mysteries be laid plain.
It's Eothas' obligation to help us fix what he's about to break.
Coddled children learn nothing that is not spoon-fed to them. With the wheel destroyed, Kith will tear themselves apart. It is the gods' duty to prevent that happening, lest they doom us all. And as Kith must be ruled, so too must the gods. I say that if Eothas is so eager to throw down the mantle of power and step aside, I shall take my rightful place as Queen of the Gods again.
Kith are strongest when they follow our lead, and we are strongest when we lead in turn. United in purpose with the gods, Kith can accomplish things that without us, they could never have even begun. They must be shown their boundaries to surpass them.
Kith will not solve Eothas' puzzle on their own. And without an established order to fight against, the bonds that bind them dissolve, and they fight amongst themselves.
How can we trust you to lead us after this?
You cannot trust us, and you never should have. Only the Kith may save themselves.
Boudica's firm hand is but the motherly smothering of Helia by another name. Mortals should have no special advantages. Only once Kith have striven to improve themselves through trial will they truly know their measure. Kith must suffer to find their strength if they are to survive the world into which Eothas drags them. Our intervention in your struggle would be a cruelty and counter to our purpose.
He lets his words hang in the air for a moment. Gaze, level with your own.
Indeed. Kith must discover for themselves what it is they are worth, and of what it is they are capable. What we do for them, they do not learn for themselves. Trial breeds ingenuity.
What do you do for
if
us?
Our work of generations was not in vain. Kith will succeed in spite of Eothas' actions. I have faith in Kith's ability to meet Eothas' challenge. Do not mistake my words for indifference, Watcher. They are born from a fierce belief in your potential, not a refutation of it.
Oh. One of you has tried to convince me that morals are best. One of you has tried to convince me that mortals are destined to fail, but I don't believe it.
And yet you come to Ukaizo with only the Huana at your back. All that Kith stand to lose. And even then, your leaders could not join hands, squabbling instead over prestige and resources. You believe that will change when my final death comes calling? You are a greater fool than I thought. Margaret is blinded by her affection for mortals. She does not see that entropy is the destiny of all things. If Eothas were wise, he would destroy everything.
Shut the fuck up, Rimmergand.
End reincarnation. End death. Kith have had their chance. It is time to let silence reign.
Shut the fuck up.
As Rimmergon's words fade, the Pallid Knight returns. She no longer towers over you, a giant even among the gods, but meets you at your height. She lets the arms crossed over her chest fall to her sides. She speaks to you openly, plainly, an expression almost like tenderness, turning up the corners of her lips.
Well, Watcher, you know where we stand. What do you believe?
Shit, I don't know. Shit, I don't know. I don't know what I believe. I don't know. The gods, the wheel, I'm not sure of anything anymore.
You have some time to think yet, but not perhaps as much as you would like. Now the time has come for us to part, Watcher. I laid upon you a difficult duty, and you have discharged it well. You will be free of it in time, but not now. You have work to do yet. You are no stranger to hard choices. You killed Theos, and when his soul was laid bare before you, you chose to destroy his memories. You freed him from his past.
Yep.
Remember the strength it took to make that choice, and know that you alone may sway Eothas now. When you stand before him, choose your words carefully.
The gods depart one by one in brooding silence. A solitary figure remains perfectly still until the last of her colleagues is out of earshot. Woedica peers down at you, a triumphant grin splitting her weathered features.
Vareth is a fool if she thinks I'll let her enjoy the last word.
Fuck off, Woedica.
You were trusted with a heavy responsibility, Watcher. Speaking for mortals, and representing their interests in the future to come.
Indeed, did my choices teach you anything about us?
You weren't wrong to trust the Huana. They built their society to last, but that hasn't stopped their tribes from buckling under the pressure of foreign occupation. How many of her people did Queen Onakaze imperil while she placated her enemies? How close did her simpleton brother come to drawing his weapon at every negotiation? Then there's the deplorable incident at the Powder House. And yet, they have earned your confidence in a gamble that could decide the fate of all mortals. Why is that?
That sucks that I can't do that one because I'm just because I'm a godlike. I'm an Almoa bodied godlike from the Deadfire. I should be allowed to do that. Whether against outsiders or gods, they know how to come together against a shared threat.
Consider my curiosity appeased. For now, in our grandest plans, you are a singularly unpredictable variable.
Cool.
You play a dangerous game by investing your hope in others. Deception and failure are woven into the fabric of mortals. I can safely promise that they will disappoint you before long.
I intend to see that promise broken. Whatever happens, we can face it together. Without you, if necessary.
I look forward to watching the bright cheer fade from your eyes under cold, unforgiving reality.
It's not bright
Whether
cheer.
you needed my wisdom or not, everything you've done to get this far has informed our view of mortal kind. I hope you're satisfied with your performance. We've learned much from each other.
That make a difference? Are mortals ready to own their own destiny?
Nothing could convince me that mortals are equipped to steward their future. Your efforts to prove me wrong were admirable, and my detractors will likely use your example to oppose my rule. The Huana may reign over this archipelago for now, but Eora is vaster than they know. A difficult road lies ahead of me. Your alliances have made proving my argument an uphill battle. Well done, I suppose. Eothas will no doubt have a sunnier outlook on mortals and their chances of success. He already has everything he wants, so go and listen to his empty-headed idealism.
I will.
The rest of us will be sharpening our blades, preparing for the future he lays out for us.
Oh, there he is. There's that boy. Consciousness returns as a wave of the last machine's energy dissipates. The calming of the storm reveals the sprawling city around you like the sand wiped from a mosaic. You see the distant outline of Eothas raising his fist in triumph and purpose.
You keep falling asleep on me, I'm gonna have to start walking behind you with a pillow. Oh, by the way, the storm's gone. Also, I think Eothas has ended the world.
Fear takes a long draw from his pipe and nods as he stares at the Colossus in the distance.
It seems we're all still here.
Eoth glances around, rubbing his head gingerly.
Do not touch the machine again, I say. The delicate fish can only take so much.
Squeezing his eyes shut, Takehu rests his head in his palm.
Gods and darnation. My head.
Shodi presses a palm to her brow and struggles to her feet. Peering over the edge of the tower, you make out the distant shape amid the ruins below. A ragged ship has settled offshore, where it lists at a drunken angle, the flag of the Principe drooping from a tilted mast. The empty deck tells you the surviving crew have long since boarded a skiff and rowed to shore, which means you're no longer alone on Ukaizo. Sigh and draw your weapon. He's definitely smashing. Grand Promenade, I guess.
So now it comes to this, Mika.
Are you the final boss? Tugging on the frilled cuffs of his sleeves, Captain Ferrante strolls confidently forward. With a flick of his hand, he signals to his posse of well-armed pirates behind him.
You think to steal my golden dream, but I will not allow it to happen.
He embellishes an aristocratic bow and draws his arms against you.
My gratitude is yours for disabling the storms. It seems I did not require Rivan's ship to reach Ukaizo in the end.
Don't make me hurt you. Walk away while you still can.
You jest in the face of your death, huh? Allow me to admit how grandly I will enjoy ending you. Until the next life? Nor perhaps not, considering.
You don't even have a full party, dude. Oh no, you exploded. You got exploded immediately. You fucking loser. Eat shit. Leave your naked corpse here. Forever. Okay, let's go to Moiguith. Gweth?
You descend into the ancient winding streets of Ukaizo.
That looks
Battered
cool.
by storms for
Not gonna
thousands
lie.
of years, the ruins bear the marks of their role as the lone witnesses of the gods' great secret at the center of the city. The houses and boulevards are pierced by great spears of luminous Audra. There are no ashen bodies, no birds, no sign or sound of any life. But with every step, the rhythmic pounding in the distance draws nearer. Soon, you can feel the vibration traveling up your spine.
You know, I gotta say, when in the first game they first mentioned, like, the wheel, and from then on, I really thought it was more of like a metaphysical wheel. Not like a literal fucking wheel that someone can just, like, smash with a sufficiently big hammer. That caught me off guard.
As you approach the center of the city, the weathered architecture gives way to more luminous Audra, piercing the ruins, eventually overtaking them entirely. Cresting the top of a fallen tower, you finally get a clear view of Eothas. He stands, legs astride, next to a great stone monument ringed with 11 cavernous alcoves. All but 3 hold a gargantuan skeleton, bones scrubbed clean by the city's storms.
Okay.
An immense Angwithan machine floats above the monument, suspended by invisible energy emanating from a well of light beneath it. Great brass rings spin around a core of metal and Audra at the machine's center.
Cool as hell.
Periodically, Eothas's massive arms swing back. The movement alone is enough to draw great gusts of wind toward him. When they come down on the machine, the impacts are accompanied by eruptions of electricity, fire, and smoke. The hundreds of luminous Audra pillars across Ukaizo sympathetically dim in a rippling wave that spreads out from the machine. The only safe route to the god is a steep ascent along a monstrous pillar of luminous Audra. Intertwined with fragments of Ukaizo's ruins that it has carried through the centuries, the pillar bends in a long arc, towering above the machine. The pillar levels out near Eothas's head.
Convenient.
A silent observer to the destruction of the machine it has grown beside over thousands of years. You weave your way along a treacherous, rain-slicked path up the pillar's skyward side. As you arrive at the top, you catch Eothas's attention. Fist pulled back, he pauses to observe you. With the same gentleness he showed at Ashen Maw, he lowers his arm and turns toward you.
Okay. Let's see how this goes.
See Ukaizo in this way.
That's a lot of quest experience.
It may be hard to picture, but this city was once full of life.
I
Huana,
bet.
yes, but also kith from many other cultures. Great hanging trees shadowed these boulevards. Gardens sprawled across the open rooftops. Each spring, a festival procession would wind its way from the hillside into this valley. The celebrants would pass through a steep walk among the stalls of foreign merchants, flowers falling upon them from all sides.
Sounds nice.
All people of all nations, together in a celebration of new life. Such was the power and beauty of lost Ukaizo.
End dialogue? We're done here? The soul of Widewind separates from the masses trailing in your wake. He looks up at Eothas and clears his throat.
Been a while, old friend.
Widewind, I did not think to see you here. But few things go as expected when the Watcher is involved. We were a good team. Once. But this isn't what we fought for. Ain't you just burning the harvest because you planted the wrong seeds? An astute observation, old friend. Consider instead that I am giving the soil back to those who till it. Spring must always follow winter. As long as there are people committed to finding the other side of change, the agony will not last.
I mean, spring will always follow winter is true when talking about seasons. Things don't always get better. Like, I like to think that things get better, and that is my personal hope. But, like, if you nuke a city, spring does not follow that winter. That city's just destroyed. If you destroy reincarnation as a concept, spring might not follow that winter.
But thank you for challenging me as you did in fairer times. I haven't forgotten the lesson we strove to impart. You're welcome, I suppose.
Widewind clears his throat and backs away to offer you space. Eothas shifts his attention back to you.
Mighty One, I once desired to return that power and beauty to the Huana. Now I wish only for the tribes to find it themselves. If not here, then elsewhere.
Kehu glances at you and swallows.
Was I wrong? Have I failed them?
Tekehu, the gods have already decided so much of your life. I would not shape what remains of it. You know how your people could benefit from your help. You have also come to see that this life is yours to live as you choose. Deciding what course to take is not easy. But if you do not choose, your life may pass you by as you stand at the crossroads.
Okay.
If we don't fix this mess you're about to cause, the whole world is gonna look this bad. I mean, it's a mighty heavy load you're putting on our shoulders. I just hope we can carry it.
As long as there are people like you in this world, Adair, I truly do.
You truly do what? Hope we can carry it?
This power has always been in the grasp of mortals. Now you will finally be aware of it. Now you will be able to decide what to do with it.
What power? The power to not reincarnate? Or like the power of gods? Or like the power to break reincarnation? What power are you talking about?
Gone, please, I'm begging you. What do I do following this? How am I to best serve those still living, to improve our future chances of survival?
The Deadfire and the Eastern Reach are full of animancers, women and men with brilliant minds who can solve this great problem.
The great problem that you're causing!
They will also need people with brilliant souls, like you, Shodi. People who can tend to the spiritual needs of the world in a time of fear and desperation. Remember, the flame you bear is not only light, but warmth. Provide comfort to all who need it.
Aloth shakes his head, looking up at Eothas.
What right do you have to do this? Destroy the wheel and leave us with nothing? Without even knowing what will come next?
Aloth, we are all gods and mortals, responsible for our own actions. But inaction carries its own moral responsibility. It is a burden I have carried for far too long. One must always do as their conscience dictates, even if that means abdicating a position of power.
What position of power are you abdicating? God? Are you stepping down as a god? No one told me that.
But what of you, Watcher? Why have you followed me? Have you come to bear witness to the breaking of the wheel?
I've come to ask you to take pity on the mortals who will suffer from your actions.
It is pity for mortals that drives me, Watcher. I have felt it in every step I have taken to cross the Deadfire and reach this place. What more would you have me do?
So wait, his plan is to break the wheel and then have mortals fix it? Make a new wheel? That's the game plan? This has been unclear to me. Think of the souls that will be trapped in the in-between for all that time. They will be tormented until the wheel is fixed.
It is true. While the eventual restoration of the wheel will bring them relief, they will suffer until that time comes. Thank you for making me think of the lost souls, Watcher. I will provide a haven for them after my work here is finished.
Okay.
Indulge me in a moment's curiosity. There is something I wish to know about Eora, about Kith, that I can only learn through your eyes.
Go on.
You followed me all this way, dodging an armada, navigating an impenetrable wall of storms.
Uh-huh.
Voyaging across uncharted seas.
Uh-huh.
With the machinations of gods echoing in your ears.
Uh-huh.
All the while trusting in the institutions of Kith to get you this far, and earning their trust in turn. Whatever else happens this day, that much is remarkable.
I agree.
I believe that mortals possess the strength to collaborate and shape a future of their own design. Not all of my brothers and sisters agree.
No shit.
By relying on others and coming together in a time of crisis, you illustrate my point. The gods will witness you and question their assumptions about how responsible, empathetic, and sophisticated mortals can be. What inspired your decision, Watcher? Did the choice echo your foundational beliefs? Or were you influenced by observation?
One or three. I do believe in the Huana cause. Ukaizo would strengthen and unify the tribes, hopefully. Though I also very much want to prove Wodaka wrong. She thinks mortal... Yeah, I wanted to prove Wodaka wrong. She thinks mortal cooperation is doomed to fail.
Wodaka has been especially active since the downfall of her favorite operative. Have you ever considered that she is mentoring his replacement?
Interesting. I won't dismiss the idea entirely.
My brothers and sisters never act when the gains are strictly short-term. If Wodaka's shadow has fallen upon you, that can only mean she recognizes your potential to further her ambition. I thank you for your perspective. Yours is not the only opinion that concerns me, but for the moment, it offers much to consider. All I ever wanted for mortals was growth, transformation. Once, my brothers and sisters shared this goal.
Okay.
Some have forgotten themselves, giving into fatalism or tyranny. Others have succumbed to apathy.
So it seems.
It brings me great sorrow that crisis is the only way to set the future in motion. Would that I could pass the responsibility of heralding your darkest hour to another.
You could?
Never forget that trust and coordination between mortals brought you to this place. Your future is built on a foundation of hope, and you have laid the first stone.
Before this is over, it's my turn to ask the questions.
Ask. You are entitled to any answer that is mine to give.
What happens after the wheel breaks?
The great work of the Ingwithans falls to ruin. Reincarnation as we know it will end.
That seems really bad.
Souls which currently await new life in the beyond will be born into the world as normal, but their numbers will not replenish. Anything that dies will tarry in the void of the in-between, awaiting the motion of a wheel that no longer turns. Once the beyond has emptied, every birth will be hollow-born. Other maladies of the soul may follow, and plague those who linger in life. Unless mortals work together to carve a new path, the essence of life will be trapped in the netherworld. Gods will starve. Eora will grow silent and cold.
Why won't reincarnation just go back to how it was before the wheel?
When we tamed the cycle of reincarnation, we broke what had once functioned naturally and without intervention. The flow of essence will not normalize on its own. Essence will simply pool in the void of the in-between, never passing through Adra networks to the beyond. The dead will be left to wander in darkness, confusion, and sorrow.
How long until Eora is devoid of all life?
A generation or more. That much essence is already poised to flow into Eora. But unlike an hourglass, no amount of turning will compel the sand to reverse its course.
Yeah, this seems bad, my dude.
Should you choose, you could lay down your burden and trust in your children's children to set matters right. That depends entirely on you. By your reckoning, there are still good years to come. By ours, time is short.
Mortals aren't the only ones in jeopardy. What you're doing threatens the gods. I don't care about the gods, so I'm not gonna say that. Boudica sees this as a test, one we're destined to fail.
Boudica is entitled to her opinion. If the intent of this test is to justify an uprising to come, that is more worrisome. The other gods must decide for themselves if mortals are ready to dictate their future. Should Boudica's tyranny prove the only alternative, mortals must prepare for a terrible conflict. Your perspective bridges eternity, Watcher. Many will look to you to mediate differences that could shake the very foundations of Eora.
You've had millennia to do this. Why now?
For several reasons. My strength was diminished after the Godhammer bomb, and assuming this form took incredible effort.
Okay.
With so many vying for control of the Deadfire, I also saw a ripe opportunity for mortals to cast aside their differences and stand together as one.
Which they didn't.
They have never been more powerful, more capable. Because of this, the gods must justify their importance or be proven obsolete.
That's all. What happens next?
I must attend to my final work now. I cannot delay any longer. You have carried a heavy burden across the Deadfire, Watcher. Before I go, I would rid you of it.
No sooner have Eothas' words entered your mind than you hear one final dissonant ring of a chime within you, then silence. The knot that formed when the Pallid Knight first addressed you in the beyond is now gone.
You are free now. As free as any of us can be. Many will come to you for help in the years ahead. Animancers, priests, even the gods themselves. I have great hope for you. But always remember that your future is for you to decide. Use your freedom well.
Eothas squares himself to the machine. As you move to a safe distance, he draws his fist back and resumes his assault. The blows rain down with increased fervor, but the machine perseveres in spite of his efforts. Spreading his arms wide, Eothas draws power from the luminous Adra clustered around the valley. The energy courses through his body, limbs overflowing with intense light and waves of heat. He returns to his task, each strike bringing with it the sound of cracking stone and twisting metal, the flickering of luminous Adra across Ukaizo. As the ancient machine finally begins to succumb to his strength, So too does Eothas' body, built to withstand the passage of thousands of years. The great Audra statue has finally been pushed beyond its limits.
Dang.
Cracks appear along the hands, then race up the arms. Eothas does not slow his assault, but continues unabated. Its brass rings twisted. The machine spins erratically but withstands the relentless barrage. Eothas stands astride it and pummels the base of the machine. Soul energy begins to flare out from the machine's heart, warping the air with the intense heat. Eothas drives his right fist into the machine's center, the core of metal and Audra. The god lets out a deafening shout, something between a cry of anguish and a roar of exultation. You see Eothas' arm shatter upward from his hand through his elbow. A flash of light and heat bursts from the core, accompanied by a cacophony of destruction.
Well,
the
damn.
moment passes as Eothas' shout echoes throughout the valley. Your eyes begin to recover. The god's work is accomplished. The great machine of Ukaizo has been destroyed. The wheel has been unmade.
End.
As Eothas' voice fades, the enormity of what you've accomplished sinks in. You have confronted a god. You
Accomplished
have rediscovered the
nothing.
ancient city where the wheel was forged, and you have seen the wheel shattered. What comes next is uncertain, but already the legend spreads of the Watcher, who survived Andra's mortar and stood toe-to-toe with Eothas.
And did nothing. I accomplished nothing. He did what he was going to. I didn't stop him. I didn't hinder him. I accomplished nothing. This was all pointless. Like, I helped some people out along the way, and that's it. The main quest line, it had me doing overall nothing. I stood toe-to-toe with Eothas. It's not like we fought. I did nothing. I talked to him and couldn't talk him out of it.
Maras Nua's body finally goes still amidst the rubble of the Angwithan machines, yet it continues to glow. Priests and mystics have strange dreams of an island of eternal dawn at the eye of a storm, a port where the tide never flows out, a roadside tavern whose door leads only inward.
What's fucking Magron doing there? I get Eothas, you're talking about the body, but what's that about?
As a watcher, you see what these dreamers cannot. The souls of the departed drifting toward the Audra Colossus and the twilit afterlife within. Whether it is a temporary haven or a permanent end will depend on what the Kith of Eora are able to accomplish on their own. The greatest hope seems to lie in the work of the ancient Angwithans and the Huana's efforts to unearth and understand it. And while Maras Nua stands frozen over Ukaizo, the gods look on the labors of Kith, but they do not intervene. They watch and argue, wager and conjecture at how or whether mortals will solve the puzzle set before them. Reclaiming Ukaizo is both a symbolic and a practical victory for the Huana. The ancient city is a potent reminder of their people's ancient glory, and it promises to be a much more easily defensible capital, especially with the storm controls of Andra's Spire close at hand.
Neat.
The other tribes unite under the Kahanga and dedicate themselves to rebuilding Ukaizo and relearning its secrets.
Cool.
The Valian Trading Company continues its operations in Deadfire, though it is forced to renegotiate many of its contracts with the newly empowered Huana Crown. Company leadership finds that the new terms are much more favorable to the tribes than to their own interests in the region.
I should hope so.
Due to these changes, the Valian Trading Company eventually withdraws most of its people from Deadfire.
Neat.
The Royal Deadfire Company is allowed to continue trading in the archipelago, though they are forced to submit most of their outposts and fortifications to Huana leadership. The storms across the Rauatayan mainland subside along with those of Andra's mortar. However, Rauatai regards this respite with a wary eye, ever mindful that the machinery at Andra's spire remains under their foe's control. The battle at Andra's mortar leaves the fleet of the Principi Sen Patrena in shambles. Thus sundered, they fight among each other until they are little more than squabbling bands of pirates. They continue to harass unguarded merchant vessels, but they are fit for little more. Gone are the dreams of empire and the hunger for primacy.
Haha.
Despite other tensions across the archipelago, Port Maje remains a model of peaceful, productive cooperation between the Huana and the Valian Trading Company.
Cool.
Though they do not always agree, Governor Clario and Storm Speaker Ikawa work together for the mutual benefit of their people. As the balance of power changes in Deadfire, so too does Nekataka transform.
Okay.
Though the Kahanga monarchy moves its new seat of government to Ukaizo, Nekataka continues to be a busy and important city.
I'd imagine.
Largely forgotten amidst more prominent concerns, the Gullet continues to be a miserable place. Especially for those Raparu who flee to Nekataka seeking a haven amidst the turmoil. For them, the Grand City is a promise cruelly broken.
Oops.
Ukaizo reveals more about the ancient art of water shaping than the guild could have hoped to learn in another century of work. With this new knowledge, water shapers across the archipelago wield the currents and bend the waves for the pleasure and benefit of the new Huana nation.
Sweet.
Your brief encounter with Letharn proves deeply influential for the children of the Dawnstars.
Who was that again? I don't remember who that was.
Plagued with nightmares and haunted by the deaths at Hesango, Letharn begins questioning his faith in Eothas. At first, his fellow Dawnstars chide him. But that changes as word of Eothas' deeds at Ukaizo spreads. After all, what business have they worshipping a god who denied his own legitimacy? The children of the Dawnstars respond to Eothas' sacrifice by taking up the lanterns and sickles of the Harvesters of Gone. They become pilgrims of essence, gathering souls across Aora and ferrying them to the haven within the Adra Colossus. Others will repair or rebuild the wheel one day. In the meantime, the Dawnstars will care for the souls of the dead.
Neat.
The Adra at Pokakohara is restored, but the rumored Valian Trading Company post never comes to Tikawara. Torn between waiting and seeking better fortunes elsewhere, the tribe gradually scatters and fragments.
Aww.
The Queen soon sends a contingent of her bravest warriors who end the horrors of Splintered Reef. The dragon,
I accidentally skipped the thing.
Neraskelas, no longer passes between Aora and the White Void, and the dead flow slowly breaks apart, exposing the temple long frozen within. Vatnir tries to hold the Harbingers of Dusk together, and for a time succeeds. The group resettles within and around the temple, vowing to protect it. Eventually, however, Remergon's godlike falters, and his followers sacrifice him to the White Void.
Damn.
The Temple of Remergon falls into disrepair, home only to madmen and monsters.
That'd be a good band name.
In besting the Beast of Winter, you earned the Death God's mercy rather than his enmity. The deity remains characteristically unforthcoming about his decision, and you're left to wonder whether in doing battle with him in the White Void, you somehow furthered his apocalyptic ambitions. Once repaired, the Adra at the primal island of Kazuwari again pulses with the flow of soul essence between the here and the beyond. The feral life on the island flourishes. The jungles and veld growing ever wilder and resistant to settlement and exploration alike.
Cool.
The faces of the hunt continue to rule the Crucible and Galawain's, or rather, Tawamawai's name. The trials summoned by the statue grow deadlier with each season, until only those rare few willing to brave the gravest of dangers seek out the bloody ordeals of Kazuari.
Wasn't that already the case?
Like the other souls following in your wake, Muatu eventually yearns to move on to the beyond and the wheel. Stymied by Eothas' actions, however, he settles on returning to Kazuari, where he joins the choir of souls that echo throughout the Crucible.
Good for him, I guess.
Hundreds of Kith, and no small number of Wilder and Primordials, flee from the Black Isle, their minds a confused collection of inconsistent and contradictory memories. Each escapee bears knowledge that was once lost, and agents of the Hand Occult across Ayora work tirelessly in the years that follow to hunt down and end these fugitives. They find far fewer than they hope. Slain by your hand, the Titan of Wal poses little further threat to Ayora. As the corpse decays, it putrefies into a massive nest of hungry fungal monstrosities. Vessels that anchor off the shores of the Black Isles tend to go missing, only to turn up shipwrecked months or even years later against distant shores.
Well, dang.
With time, the body collapses upon itself, and the Black Isles finally implode.
Fuck!
Though your adventures alter the destiny of Ayora and the balance of power in Deadfire, they also leave a lasting mark on those who travel at your side. Your companions find themselves changed, in ways both big and small.
She was literally never a companion of mine. And she left because I didn't side with her faction.
In the days sailing back from Ukaizo, Adair finds himself disillusioned with all gods, his own above all. Where the gods have touched Deadfire, he sees only destruction, loss, and emptiness. He casts off all symbols of Eothas, and even begins refusing to use his name. Ultimately, he chooses to remain with you on the Defiant, knowing
That's
if
not my boat
anyone is
anymore.
to have the final word in a conflict with the gods, it will be the Watcher of Cadnua. Shodi is not a priestess who understands the meaning of subtlety. As such, she makes her girlish crush on Adair painfully obvious from the moment she first sets eyes on the strapping fighter. Early in your travels, Adair appears discomforted by her persistent flirting.
This is just
He
a...
often grimaces when she sidles up to him, and he takes endless pains to keep their conversations terse and to the point. But after a little smoothing on your part to nudge them in the right direction, Adair makes an effort to view Shodi with an open mind. And Shodi begins teasing the veteran fighter in a more companionable and less amorous manner.
This is just a plot summary of what's happened.
And sharing more than a few laughs, the two form an easy, and you suspect, lifelong friendship.
Okay, but what about the fact that Shodi is my girlfriend now?
Shodi's journey through the Deadfire on your ship is an eye-opening experience for the sheltered farm girl. After many souls harvested, more lives aided, and much adventure had, the priestess declares her intent to rejoin her fellow missionaries at the Temple of Gon in Nekataka. Following a shy grin and an overzealous handshake, Shodi leaves you with an open invitation to visit her anytime.
She broke up with me?
Later, when she pens you a missive. Can you hardly believe it? Her chicken scratch handwriting reads. Saw when sailing for distant lands. She's leaving me in charge of the temple. I've been named the High Priestess of Gon.
Good for you.
Though the two of you no longer travel together, Shodi holds fast to the memory of you in her heart, remaining your fierce and doting girlfriend.
Okay.
Faithful, even in her absence. You receive a missive for every day apart, though they often arrive in a single bundle some weeks or months past. In them, she writes of how she misses you, how you are like a fire that burns inside her. How one day, surely, you will be reunited again. Until then, she prays for your safety as she continues to labor in service to Gon.
Aww.
Aloth renews his commitment to destroying the Leaden Key. With the wheel broken, loosening the god's stranglehold on Kith is more urgent than ever. It is a lofty goal, and one he does not expect to finish in his lifetime. But if there's one thing he's learned from the Watcher, it's that a single person can change the world. You let Rimaro go, and the former pirate ostensibly set sail for the trade lanes of the Eastern Reach, the Edier Empire, Old Valia, and the Republics. For the remainder of your time together, Seraphon seems, if not exactly happy, at least contented with the outcome of your confrontation with his former mentor at Sayuka. And yet, when the two of you part, Seraphon seems emboldened, invigorated by a new sense of purpose. He buys you a drink, toasts to the Deadfire, says, let's see if we can make something worth a shit out of what's left of these Principe swabs, and sets sail the next morning. In the years to follow, rumors occasionally reach you of the Blue Orlan pirate of the Deadfire, a privateer captain as keen to free slaves or fight foreign influence as he is to plunder and pillage.
Okay, I don't like that he's plundering and pillaging, though, unless he's plundering and pillaging, like, slavers and foreign influence exclusively.
Time away from the Navy gives Maya Rua some perspective on how Rawatai conducted the Deadfire occupation. No sooner does she return to active duty than she voices her frustrations over some of the more underhanded tactics she witnessed and carried out in the name of the homeland. Her voice carries all the way to the Ranganui, who reminds his admirals that battles are won by superior tactics, but war is a battle of precedent, and winning is not always a victory. The people listen.
People listen. Cool.
She looks forward to seeing her brother again. So does Ashiza.
Aww.
Takehu distances himself from the problems of the Deadfire, giving the tribes a reprieve from godlike omens. And Gati's silence speaks volumes. The Huana grow to rely on each other, paving a new way forward divorced from their traditions. Soon after he departs Nekataka, distant tribes report of unusual and salacious water sculptures appearing on the shores. These quaint visitations are widely celebrated, the identity of the artist ever an open question.
Okay.
He bids you farewell, suggesting that you seek your next adventure in a brothel or tavern, where consequences begin and end at the front door. He sounds eager to leave old conflicts in the past.
I'm sure that this would be a lot more touching if I literally ever used or talked to him.
Your pursuit of Eothas and your journey to Ukaizo signal the end of forces that have shaped the lives of Kith and the course of nations. The cycle of reincarnation has been broken. The storms of Andra's mortar have calmed. Yet each ending promises a new beginning. As the sun rises over Ukaizo, Kith turn their gaze eastward, wondering at what lies beyond, and at the world they will fashion for themselves. As the Watcher of Cadnua and the former Herald of Bareth, you return to your ship and begin the long journey home. You hope for calm weather.
My home that was destroyed. It's still destroyed. I mean, maybe they've rebuilt it in the time I've been gone, but... Alright, I think that's the end. I think that's GG. Is that? Hello? Okay. Black screen. Thrilling. Just crash. The music stopped. Hello? Video game? Hello? Alright, we're at credits time, baby! So big shout out to my patrons, whose names have just appeared. Y'all are awesome and cool and awesome. If you want to see your name appear like these cool folks, check out patreon.com/Mixter Casual. Link is below the video. Patrons get access to upcoming game lists. They get to vote on those. They get some privileges in the Project Yayhem Discord, which is open to anyone, but they get extra privileges. They get access to some secret channels. They get some cool stuff, and they get some extra weight when voting on upcoming games. Because I appreciate that. If you can't support me monetarily, that's fair and fine. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, share. Share in particular. That's super cool because it gets me seen by more people. And that's what I need. That's what I need more than anything. Is to be seen by more people. So, do all that. That means the world to me. I see that. I notice that. And I greatly appreciate it. Okay. If you're watching this live on Twitch, check out the YouTube channel that I have that this will be posted to, along with all my other streams and some unique YouTube content. There's a link below the video. It's Project Yayhem is the channel name. You can go to youtube.com/Project Yayhem if you don't want to click a link. If you're watching this on YouTube, then check out my Twitch channel. Which is twitch.tv/Mixter Casual. Where I stream games live, and you can be in the chat. I'll read the chat and be like, hey, welcome. Thank you for being here. And other things. We can have a little chat. Or whatever. But, okay, I think that's all the vamping done. I think that's all the plugs. This was an interesting game. A good game. Long game. Fucking long game. But, you know. A good game. Would definitely recommend it if this is your style of game. Which it might not be, because it's definitely a specific style of game. But I'm interested to see if there's going to be a Pillars of Eternity 3. I'm very interested in, I think it's called Avowed, which is like their first-person RPG that they're making, set in this world. That could be very, very cool. I'm very curious about that and how that'll work out. When and where that'll be set. Because we did sort of soft end the world here. which, yeah, might not be the best. Might not be the best and coolest thing to have done. But yeah, so next week I will be swapping from Tabletop Tuesdays to Terror Tuesdays. I'll be playing something spooky. Don't know what yet. That'll be development tabletop characters slain. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, so check out the Patreon and the Discord if you want to vote on the upcoming Terror Tuesday game, which will be something spooky, hopefully, and not something frustrating, hopefully. I guess we'll see, because some spooky games tend to be more frustrating than anything. But, hopefully we'll have a good time with that. Fuck, I've run out of things to say. I should have done this from the start. Just... Okay, for a second I thought that the music sped up as well. I was like, that's interesting. The music in this game is really good. It got maybe a little bit repetitive, but overall, really good. I like it. I liked this game. This was a good game. Seeker, Slayer, Survivor. There's apparently like a DLC thing that I didn't run across at all, where you could get like the deck of many things from D&D. I have no idea where or how that was supposed to happen. But, you know, it is what it is. There's a lot of content that I didn't see. So, hey, play the game yourself. See that content. Side with a different faction. See how that goes. Do all the quests that I did. Which was a lot of them. Which was most of them, probably. There were so many quests that I didn't do. So, go play the game and do those quests. See what there is to see. The world is grand. And I just didn't want to, not take a nap. I wanted to take a nap. No, I didn't want this game to run for like a year, which I think it would have if I had seen all the content. Because there's a lot of shit. Yeah. We're getting to the end of the credits, so, huge shout out again to my lovely patrons, whose names have not disappeared. Oh, we're still at the Patreon backers, because this was or not Patreon backers, Kickstarter, or whatever, backers. So this game was Kickstarted, which, cool on y'all. Had I known about the game, I would have done that myself. Yeah. Good game. GG. GG Nori. I'll probably replay it at some point, but not on stream. There's a lot of games. There's so many games. A damn fool. What a good Kickstarter name. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. Alright. So there we have it. Yeah, Avowed. I'm excited for that. I want to see what that's about. But right now they don't really have much known about that. But anyway, we're calling it here because we beat the game. So thank you for watching, y'all. I love you very much. I'll see you next time with something new. Remember, Black Lives Matter, defund the police. Bye-bye.